Irish Muslim scholar responds to the LGBT propaganda amidst Qatar World Cup.
Wearing this armband with the One Love symbol, with the LGBT rainbow flag. And people were criticizing Qatar that because you're not allowed to do so there. Why didn't they criticize Russia? Why do they have to criticize Qatar? And the other thing is, why are you criticizing Qatar for having a different culture than you? They are not saying that, and this is the thing, I was on RTE on Monday night. Did you see it? How many of you saw it? Please raise your hand. See, I was debating with the Minister of Sports. I was debating with 7 people. I was the only one there. And they were saying things that are not right, accurate. They were saying that you cannot travel as a member of the LGBT community to Qatar. You will be hung on a tree, you will be killed. And I said, who cares what your orientation is? Nobody cares. Like, people go there and live there, and I gave them an example of a very famous athlete, ex-England player, Liam Sanderson. I gave them the example of Liam Sanderson, that look, here is an athlete who is openly member of the LGBT community, lived for more than 5 years in Qatar. And she said, Qatar is a respectable society. As long as you respect them, they will respect you back. I gave them an example, and one of the persons, he said, is that the only example you have? I'm giving you such a major example of somebody who is publicly a member of the LGBT community. Now let them give us an example of one person being killed, one person being given the death penalty in Qatar or in any other Arab country because that person happened to be gay. Let them give us one example. We don't have a single example. Yes, there are, in some countries they have laws. But this is not implemented. Nobody, they don't care. But what they want is, look, our society has its values and has a tradition where we do not show affection publicly. Even husband and wives, we don't kiss publicly. It's a halal relationship. In Islam, even like in our masajid, when the imam says, you're married now, in the church, the priest will say, you may kiss the bride. And we respect that. That's their culture. But our culture is different. We don't do that publicly. Kissing your wife and kissing your spouse is one of the most hasanat, is one of the most good deeds you can do. Did you know that? According to the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ, to spend time with your family, to spend on your family, to make love with your spouse is in Islam a good deed. You get rewarded for it. But it's a private matter. It is something that is personal. That is something that is private. Something not to make public in Islamic traditions. So when they have these traditions and this is their value, why can't we respect that? Why can't we say, look, we may disagree with this, but let us just respect each other. Lakum dinukum waliyadin. Like, let us respect each other's values. People are from a particular community, LGBT community. In Islam, engaging in homosexuality is haram, is forbidden, prohibited. Nobody can change that. No scholar can ever come and say it is now permissible. Something that Allah made forbidden, prohibited, and it's an sexual act that even between a husband and wife is haram, prohibited in Islam. So nobody can come and say it's halal. It's haram, it's prohibited. But if anybody is engaged and everybody, we don't care. It's fine. Lakum dinukum waliyadin. It's the same as drinking alcohol. In our religion, we do not drink alcohol. It's forbidden, it's prohibited. There are people that drink alcohol. It's fine. Let them drink alcohol. We have no issue with that. That's fine. That's their life, their choice. We respect people's choices. If somebody engages has a particular orientation, engages in a particular sexual activity, it's fine. We respect that. We don't agree with it. We don't agree. We don't think that it is right. But we say we agree and accept that you have the right to choose and to be who you want to be. And you should not be treated differently. We accept that. When we accept this, then what is the issue? And I will tell you now what the issue is. Woke mind, the woke mindset, the woke culture is dangerous because it doesn't just say that you have to accept, it doesn't just say you have to accept how we are. We have no problem with that as Muslims. We have no problem accepting people having different sexual orientation, people choosing to drink alcohol. We have no problem with that. You're a human being. You have human rights. We are human beings too. You have your way of life. We have our way of life. We don't treat you differently. We will not treat you differently because you happen to be gay or you drink alcohol. No, we don't. And if somebody as a Muslim does, no, we are not supposed to. And we're not supposed to say, oh, because you drink alcohol or because you are gay, you're going to go to hell. We can't say that either as Muslims. Really. The Quranic verse I told you, إِنَّا أَرْسَلْنَاكَ بِالْحَقِّ بَشِيرًا وَنَذِيرًا, Surah Al-Baqarah. Allah speaks to the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ and he says them, we have sent you with the truth as the person who gives glad tidings and the person that warns. And he tells them what is right, what is wrong. وَلَا تُسْأَلُ عَنْ أَصْحَابِ الْجَحِيمِ. And remember, you will not be asked about the people in hell. Which basically means, as Muslims, we cannot judge who is going to go to hell and who is not. This is the domain of Allah. He himself decides. We don't know. It is possible. As in the hadith of Bukhari, that somebody who has been living their life against Allah's will, like this woman who was a prostitute, Imam Bukhari narrates this hadith, but at the end Allah Almighty entered her into heaven, paradise. Why? Because she gave food or she gave water to an animal. So this is why as Muslims, like this priest in Kerry a couple of weeks ago said, oh, all these politicians, gays are going to go to hell. And there was a big commotion about that. We don't agree with that as Muslims. We say this is the domain of Allah. But the act of homosexuality is prohibited in Islam. Simple as that. So we accept. But the problem is, and this is the problem, that this new mentality, new movement is not wanting people to accept, but they want you to participate in it. And this is the difference.